the Sunday card wrapping up. Now, there's double barrel action on a Monday night. But in terms of week 2, the Sunday portion, that ended with the Miami football team, the Dolphins, and Tua Tagovailoa, the road show, paying a visit to Mac Jones and the Patriots in a key early season AFC East game, at least for the Patriots. I don't know about the Dolphins. It was kind of a big deal. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth were there, chilling in the broadcast booth. And if you were watching the game, it ended not that long ago. Maybe you saw it, maybe not. But Raheem Mostert, he's a running back, and he ran for 121 yards, a pair of touchdowns. And the Dolphins never trailed as they swim past the Patriots. That padded Dolphins, 24-17, the final in Foxborough. Miami gets its second road win of the year. They won in Los Angeles in that shootout last week, and now they come back and they win in New England. So on the night, Tua Tagovailoa was okay. He wasn't amazing. He was all right. The better story, though, is in the losing locker room for the first time in over 20 years. The New England Patriots are 0-2. Now, if only someone can take Mac Jones out, and then Bailey Zappi can come in. Isn't that what happened in 2001, the last time the Patriots were 0-2? I think so. Anyway, let's discuss the question. Who gets the biggest slice of the Boston blame pie? And the Patriots losing 0-2 at home, 2 losses. So I've got kryptonite, microscope, and Albert Einstein. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make the Heartache Hotel. Is what we're going to make, because in both games, the Patriots had opportunities to matriculate the ball down the field in the fourth quarter, in the final minutes. In this game on Sunday night, they had a chance to tie the game. Last week against the Eagles, they had the ball twice in position to go down and take the lead, and they go 0-2. So when you're talking about slicing up the blame Boston pie, the Boston blame pie, so we start with Mac Jones, the Mac attack. And not that that's a polarizing topic of conversation. This guy fails to produce late in games. It falls on his shoulder. Number 10 in your program, but number 0 with the game on the line. Not a good situation for the Patriots here as they continue to have quarterback issues. Now, there are quarterback defenders out there that think it's never the quarterback's fault. Blame the fat guys on the offensive line. They don't protect enough. He doesn't have any playmakers. I've heard all the excuses. Bad coaching. They're blaming, I guess Bill O'Brien's now the guy to blame, the offensive coordinator. Give Mac Jones more time. Give him more time. He gets a mulligan. And I say no. I say phooey. Phooey on the mulligan. Mac Jones has a couple of sticks of kryptonite that he has in the back pocket on his uniform. Now, most football pants don't have a back pocket, but Mac Jones, I put a back pocket there on his uniform. He's got 2 sticks of kryptonite in the back pocket, and he does not make players around him better. And that, I don't know how you get around that. It's like, well, yeah, the Patriots don't have great talent, but does Mac Jones uplift the talent that the Patriots do have? I have not seen it. He's unable to elevate his teammates. And he's just as mediocre as they are. If you have a good quarterback, a quarterback will make the players around them perform at a higher level. Plus, he does not have the clutch gene. He apparently left that in Tuscaloosa, did not bring that with him, although how many clutch games did he have in Alabama with all the talent that they had for Nick Saban in that time he played in the Southeastern Conference? But the thing about Mac Jones is he's just adequate. Like, he looks like he should be a backup quarterback. Like, maybe for a couple of games, if you have good players, he'll be okay. But that's about it. He provides marginal returns. The Dolphins, I saw the Dolphins in person last week in L.A. They gave up 433 yards and 34 points to the Chargers. And a lot of that was on the ground, granted. It wasn't all through the air. But just a few days later, New England only had 17 points and 288 yards of offense against, I think, the same defense. And we know that average, it has been said, that average is the enemy of excellence and the destroyer of success. And so we're 2 weeks into the season. Mac Jones is as advertised as advertised. It was very frustrating because from a wagering perspective, I had the Patriots, and I was like, boy, the Dolphins were prime for the taking in the Sunday night game. Right? I'm like, okay, so I handicapped the game, and I kind of got it right, and then the Dolphins were giving opportunities to the Patriots, and the Patriots continued to fail to take advantage of those opportunities. And that's what bad teams do. This idea, just because the Patriots are 0-2 and they've lost a couple of close games, well, they're close to turning things around. No, bad teams lose close games. Good teams win close games. And so the Patriots they're a bad team. They've had a chance, but they've made bonehead mistakes in these games. All right, now, you mentioned Mac Jones. I said generic label and all that, unremarkable. And so even though there are some flashes of success, he does not make those game-changing plays. We have not seen it in the NFL. I believe he has 0 or 1 come-from-behind late-game drive. Not good. Now, secondly, let's go to the winning side and a pair of road wins for the Miami football team. Now, generally speaking, that is a nice feather in the cap for anybody. I mean, in this case, we're talking about Miami. So the question must be asked, do we now have the Dolphins on the upper portion of Big Ben's big board of elite contenders in the AFC? And the answer on this, the arrow is pointing at not yet. The arrow is pointing at not yet. They are headed in the right direction, but I am still a skeptic when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. I'm not completely buying in to the Fins at this point. And you get the 2 road wins, that's great and all that, but then you have to pull out the Maller microscope. And you put the Maller microscope out and you start poking around there, and you see some moles, you see some warts there, and you're like, okay. For example, the game on Sunday night here, Tua, the interception, he underthrew Tyreek Hill. Just wasn't it last week? Tua was asked about the perception of him not being able to, have the cannon for an arm. He said 466. Okay, what's he going to say this week? Underthrew Tyreek Hill. Is he going to repeat that mantra? Is that what he's going to do? Because he did. That was how it was a good play by Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots, but it was an underthrow by Mac Jones on that interception. And we keep hearing about the jiu-jitsu training and that Tua's not going to get concussions now, and he knows how to keep himself in the game and all that. And so I'm in a show-me state of mind on that. I am. And he hasn't really been hit that much. To the credit of the Dolphins, whatever they're doing, whether it's the offensive line, whatever they're doing, he's working. But you also look at the running game. They didn't do much against the Chargers in week 1. Now Raheem Mostert had a big game in week 2. The defense was very wobbly in week 1. There were some plays there that the Patriots did not make in week number 2. And so that's where we are. Right? The Bolts, are they looking great? They lost to Tennessee. The Bolts suck. I mean, let's just call it like it is. They don't look like a playoff team. The Chargers, come on. Good job they kept Brandon Staley, though. That guy knows what to do. You want to lose a close game, Brandon Staley's the guy. Just give him the rock. Give him the whistle on the sidelines there. So I look at the Dolphins, and my verdict on the Dolphins at this point, based on what I've seen, 2-0 start, great record, rah, rah, rah. But I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. So no style points given based on that the Patriots don't appear to be a playoff team and the Chargers don't appear to be a playoff team. So you beat 2 non-playoff teams. The first test will be week 4 for the Dolphins. They go home. They got another cupcake. The Broncos, they blow. So you'll beat the Broncos at home. Then you play Buffalo at Buffalo in week 4. And then after that, you get some more, hostess games. You get some cupcake games. And then you play, the next big game will be week 7 against Philadelphia. In between, you play the Giants, who barely beat the Cardinals, sucked against the Cowboys, and Saquon Barkley is likely going to be out for an extended period of time, and then and the Panthers, who also stink. All right, final part of this. Let's go back to the Patriots. And it's only been a couple of weeks, but the Patriots, I saw some comments by tight end Hunter Henry, who is fed up with the slow start here. The Patriots have had the first couple of games of the year, fell behind big against the Eagles, never had the lead, fell behind against the Dolphins here in the Sunday night game, never had the lead. And Hunter Henry says the Patriots have to be a, quote, a lot more disciplined, was what he said. That was the money quote. So what do you make of that particular quote, that the Patriots, that the discipline is the issue for the Patriots. So the way I look at it, that is an indictment of Bill Belichick. Because if there's one thing that's been reliable over the years for the Patriots, other than Tom Brady, it's been the Patriots always are able to be the most disciplined team in the NFL. Over the years, been very consistent. That they're well coached and they don't beat themselves. And yeah, Tom Brady made up for a lot of that. But the Patriots, if you look at the roster now and you look at the roster 10 years ago, with the exception of maybe a couple years in the middle of the Patriots dynasty, they were never bigger, stronger, faster than everyone else they played. But they had guile. They were able to outfox the opponent. In addition to having Tom Brady, that cunning strategy from Bill Belichick, they were able to hornswoggle some of the opponents. But you look at the Patriots 2 weeks into this season, and it's an Albert Einstein physics equation here. LT plus PE equals 2L. That's the equation. Of course, that stands for the little talent plus poor execution equals 2 losses, which is where the Patriots are at this particular point. Now, Bill Belichick. We'll hear from the coach of the Patriots. Here's Bill Belichick, who was asked what the Patriots can take away from this game. You'll hear the question and the answer. I'm sure Bill gave a very smooth, professional answer. Let's take a listen.
Bill, what can the team learn from this game?
Yeah, we learn from every game. We learn from all of them.
There you go. So you learn from everything. I learn from every show. Of course, okay. I try to forget every show. Yeah, I know. Thank you. All right, here's how about Mac Jones? He sucks. Here's Mac pointing out that things did not break the right direction.
90% of the games in the NFL go into the fourth quarter, and they're one-possession games. So just trying to learn and get better from that, and just wasn't our day. Hasn't been our day for the last two weeks. So we just got to, learn from it and get better.
Yeah. So 90% of games are one-score games, and he stinks in one-score games. That's a problem. All right, here's more. Here's Mac Jones talking about the closeness of it all.
Biggest thing is just we're close. We drove the ball pretty well. Just didn't get it in. Last week we were behind and kind of scored some touchdowns, and if we can combine those two things, move the ball and then get it in the red zone, I think everyone would be smiling right now. So that's the biggest thing.
Ifs and buts were candy and nuts. The Patriots would be 2-0 and it'd be Christmas every day, but it's not. All right.